What's going on, guys? Save Griffin here, and welcome back to another YouTube video. So I've been grinding top 10 pred on PC, and a lot of people have been coming into my streams asking for my settings. And in today's video, I'm going to go through every setting in Apex, tell you which ones are the best, which ones you should watch out for, and give you some suggestions so that you can hopefully improve your gameplay and find the settings that work best for you. If I end up helping you guys out in any way in this video, a sub would be greatly appreciated as it helps me out tremendously. Alright, so going into my settings, my interact prompt style is going to be on compact. Button hints off, crosshair damage feedback, exo shield icon, damage numbers on stacking, ping opacity faded, obituaries on, minimap rotation off, weapon autocycle on empty on, auto sprint on, double tap sprint off, jetpack control. You're going to want this on hold if you're a Valkyrie main. Incoming damage feedback, we have this on 3D. Taking damage closes death box or crafting menu. This is one of the most important settings in the game because when getting shot at, it'll kick you out of the box if you have this turned on, and it might prevent you from getting an armor swap. So you definitely want to have this turned off. Going on a hop-up, pop-up, you want to have this turned on. I mean, I guess this is all preference, but I prefer having it on. For shimmer mode, I had this off, and then the rest of this is all just preference. Going down to colorblind mode, I do play in Tritanopia, and the reason I play on this is because it makes just everything a little bit brighter. You can see if I turn this off, it's just more red. And honestly, it doesn't look bad at all. But I think on Tritanopia, it just looks better. I don't know. It looks better. And then moving on to mouse and keyboard, obviously we're going to skip this because this is a controller settings guide. But moving on to controller, my button layout I play on default. So a lot of people on my stream ask me about my button layout and what I play on and my paddle situation. So I do play with an Elite Series 2 controller. I have one paddle on the back left of my controller, and I use that to jump. So I have that binded to A. I do play on the default controller presets. And that's just because I play claw. And so I like to use B and A as my slide and A as my jump. So I basically can just use B and then jump, B and then jump with my left paddle. But, you know, that is all up to you. For stick layout, I play on default. Interact, reload button, tap to use and reload. Crouch button, I use toggle. Aim button, hold. Survival slot button, off. Trigger dead zone, so you definitely want to have this on none. Menu cursor speed, that's preference. Look sensitivity 4, look sensitivity 4. Now, going into settings, 4.4 is probably one of the best settings in the game. 4.3 is by far the best aim setting in the game for classic sensitivity. If you're going for ALCs, which is advanced look controls, I'm gonna be honest, they're not worth it. If you're a pub player and you want to have some, pretty like flashy movement or something like that, ALCs are gonna be the way for you. But if you want to aim and have decent movement, 4.4 is the best sense in the game. For aim, 4.3 is the best sense in the game. Any classic setting around 5.4 or anything below is fine. But I'm telling you guys, this sense is actually a cheat code. For response curve, classic. Look dead zone, none. Movement dead zone, small. Inverted look off. Vibration off. So going to advanced look controls, I actually don't really use advanced look controls. I honestly think that classic sensitivity is better. But if you do want to copy my ALCs, they are right here. I would recommend these if you're getting into ALCs. It's basically like classic, but in an ALC format. And it's definitely pretty good. It's more towards classic with the 7 response curve. But yeah, there you go. So those are my settings that I use going on a video if you're on PC. I do play full screen native. Stretch res is an optional if you want, but I prefer native res. My brightness is at 80%. It brightens up the game. This game has a lot of dark areas, and so having your brightness higher will help you out in those scenarios. But keep in mind that the ring will be brighter and harder to see in as you increase the brightness. So I think around 80 is good. Field of view 110. FOV ability scaling, I have this disabled. Sprint view shake, I have this minimal. And then going down to the video settings, my VSync is disabled. The video reflex is enabled plus boost. Anti-ALCing is none. Texture streaming budget is going to be on low. Texture filtering bilinear. Ambient occlusion quality. This is on high, but you should probably just turn this off. It doesn't really do anything. Sun shadow coverage on low. Sun shadow detail on low. Spot shadow detail disabled. And literally the rest of this is all turned off. The reason I have these off is because in a first-person shooter game, you want to have the most FPS, right? And so you definitely want to run the lowest settings possible with your game still looking very good. I mean, you can see my game looks quite nice. You know, it doesn't look bad at all. But yeah, those are gonna be your video settings. And then for audio, my master volume is at 84%. You know, we're in 2022, so you know, definitely keep this on push to talk. We're not trying to hear, you know, you eating and your entire living room. So yeah, this is basically my entire settings. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.